I'm actually editing the show now that you're going to watch. I'm in the editing room. Here is my editing equipment right here. I've already taped the show a couple weeks ago, and now I'm going to be editing. And I hope you enjoy the show. We'll talk to you later. Hi, welcome to East County Now. I'm Rob Canfield. I'm here today with our director, who's going to be talking with us also today, Frank Martin. How are you doing, Frank?
I'm doing just fine.
Good to have you here. Frank's in the studio. He's doing all the camera stuff, and I'm here doing the guy on camera thing. Today, first topic, what I'd like to talk about is how to go out of business. Are you a business? Well, here's how you go out of business. You know, I work at a local auto auction, and my job is to bring in thousands of cars a year to our auction from all over the West Coast, everywhere, all the way over to Montana, and even points eastward sometimes. I had an occasion to have to bring in 100 government cars from a particular location in the Northwest. So I called one of the transporters we'd used before. And I said, hey, I've got about 100 cars I need transported in the next couple of weeks. Could you help me with this? And I said, well, what did it pay? I gave him the price, which is a fairly decent price. Basically, you were talking about 20 to 30,000 bucks for the total load. And they said, yeah, we can do it. So I signed them up, told the customer the cars would be picked up on the dates they were supposed to be picked up. A couple of days later, this transporter calls me and says, you know what, we decided we don't want to do that. And I said, really? Well, that's a shame, because I was ready to spend all sorts of money on you guys for other projects. It really is a shame. I was kind of ticked off and kind of frustrated. Who says no to a customer willing to spend money? So I talked about this story to a coworker of mine. He said, you know what, Rob? The same exact thing happened to me just the other day. See, my friend, he has been dieting, and he decided he really, really wanted a pizza. So he said he went to the local take and bake shop just a few days before we were talking, and he got there about 10 minutes before the place closed to take and bake a pizza shop, and he started to order a pizza. But the gals behind the counter said, oh, please, it's 10 minutes to closing. Oh, I don't want to do this. And my friends looked at the counter. You know, all the ingredients were still there. The employees were still there working. Well, not working, but they were still there. And, you know, these take and bake pizzas, they don't take any much longer than, 5 minutes to make? So he saw the hemming and hawing and the negative response he got from the folks behind the counter, and he just said to them, look, do you want me to leave? And they said, oh, thank you so much. So he thought, okay, fine. He was out of there, and he said he's not going to do business with that particular take and bake franchise anymore because of the attitude he got. And you know what? That carrier that told me they didn't want my money, guess what? They probably won't be doing business with me. But what I don't understand is are thousands and millions of us customers, millions of us in the United States, and we've got money to spend, and we want to give it to you, the business person. We want to do it. We want to buy your stuff. So when you say, oh, I don't want to take your money, well, what? Guess what? You are really doing yourself a disfavor. Hey, Frank, have you had an instance like that where you wanted to spend money at a place and they just weren't that enthused about you being a customer?
Not lately, but I have in this area. I've been in some businesses, and I won't name them, but I've dealt with that business where they're 5 or 10, 15 minutes close to closing, and they don't want to do anything because they're too busy trying to close down the place, so they get out of there.
Yeah, and I can understand it if they were already, especially my friend who was at the pizza place, if they were putting the ingredients away and if they were already, sweeping up, mopping up, that's one thing. But if they hadn't even started doing that yet, and they could still make a pizza in like 5 minutes and there's 10 minutes left, I didn't understand that. And in my case, for a vendor to say, yes, we'll do it, and then 2 days later, after I could have hired other people who were begging me to take the order, said, no, we don't want to do it. It boggles my mind. It just boggles my mind.
I got a reverse one there for you, though, because the first business I'm talking about, it wasn't them at closing that didn't want to do the job. They were just opening, and apparently they weren't in a hurry to open, because I showed up 20 minutes after opening time, and they still weren't ready to take business.
Yeah, I've run into that too. They're like, well, who's in charge here? Why aren't they ready to go? So, and I can remember in the olden days, since Myron Frank isn't around anymore, I can tell this story. I went to Myron Frank to get a gift certificate. It's Christmas time. So I went up to the counter to buy a gift certificate. And there were these two employees chatting behind the counter, and I kept on trying to get their attention. Hello, hello, I'd like to buy a gift certificate. And they ignored me. I said, excuse me. They ignored me, and they said, we'll be there in just a minute. So I'm waiting for just a minute. I shouldn't have just left, but I waited there for just a minute or 2 or 5, and I looked around the store. There's nobody else in the store but me. Nobody else in this Myron Frank store but me, and all I wanted was to give them some money to buy a gift certificate. Well, I did what I should have done 20 minutes earlier, and I just got out of there. And honestly, that really was the last time I did business with Meyer and Frank. They're Macy's now. I don't think I've been in a Macy's store forever. I hope they learned their lesson. I don't know. But businesses, you're in business to sell and get money from us. We want to give you your money, so help us help you. Let us buy your products. So that's segment 1. We'll be back right, and then after this, we'll have another topic to talk about. We'll be back in a minute. Hi, I'm Rob. I'm the host of East County Now. I'm at the beach in Lincoln City, and I discovered some strange writings in the sand. Let's take a look. Hi, welcome back. Welcome back to East County Now. I'm Rob Canfield. You know, when I was a kid, do you know what I wanted to be? I wanted to be an astronaut. And I tell you, I was an astronaut. Do you know by the time I was 8 years old, I personally, Rob Canfield, had been to the moon at least 100 times. You don't believe me, but it's true. I had been to the moon at least 100 times. And my spaceship, you should have seen it. It was great. It was so great. It was a big cardboard box. And you should have seen the logo on my spaceship. It had the greatest logo ever. It said, Chiquita Banana. Boy, I loved that spaceship. Yeah, I did. I was going to be an astronaut. I knew when I was growing up. But then, in the 8th grade, something terrible happened. An evil doctor said, Rob, without your glasses, you can't see a thing. And I knew this, you know, because my teacher in 8th grade snitched on me, told my mother, he's in the front row and he's squinting at the chalkboard. Yeah, this 8th grade teacher ruined my dream of becoming an astronaut. Poof. Just like that, my dream of an astronaut. Thanks, eye doctor. Thanks, eye doctor. My dream of being an astronaut disappeared. Then I grew up. We all grow up, don't we? And then we forget about dreams like that. We really do. I overheard a conversation a couple months ago between my friend and his son. The son said, "Hey, Dad, when I grow up, I'm going to get a job that be so much like fun. I'm going to get a job that pays me to have fun." And my friend told his son, "Well, son, what if you had to take a job that isn't fun? What would you do, son, if you had to take a job that isn't fun?" His son, you're just seeing his son laugh, and he goes, "Dad, who would do a dumb thing like that?" Yeah, who would do a dumb thing like that? Well, most of us did dumb things like that, didn't we? Yeah, we didn't follow our dreams. We did dumb things, and we got jobs that weren't fun. One day a few years ago, I started thinking, what would I like to do for fun? Besides going to the moon and a cardboard spaceship, what exactly is it that I'd like to do? And then I remembered as a kid, the other thing, besides flying to the moon, that I'd like to do was I'd like to argue. Yeah, when I was growing up, we'd go to my grandparents' house, and my granddad would have me and my sisters, we'd sit around this kitchen table in the kitchen, pink kitchen table, and we'd argue about this and that, the topics of the day, football, we'd argue about anything, boys versus girls, games. We could argue about anything. And my grandpa did something really cool. If we got too good at arguing one point of position, he'd make a switch. He'd say, "Okay, Rob, enough of that. You got to argue the other side now." It may sound like it's frustrating, but this was so much fun because you got to argue and have fun doing it. I loved doing this. Now that was really fun. So I'd found a gift that I do. I could argue for a living. I thought, maybe I could argue for a living. So how could I do that? And what could I do where I could argue it for fun? Let's see. So I thought, man, could I be an ice cream man? No, that wouldn't work because, ice cream men, they don't argue with their customers. Then I thought, well, maybe I could be a waiter. No, you can't argue with customers, you don't get any tips. Then I thought, wow, I know what I could do to argue. I could become a politician. That's right. Hey, to argue, I could become a politician. And became a burning desire for me to become a politician. And you know what? I followed through on that. I ran for Troutdale City Council about 10 years ago, and I was actually fortunate enough to win, and I became my burning desire. I became my burning desire. I was able to be a politician. Scratch that. I was not a politician. I was an elected official. Okay, the politician was that other guy. I became an elected official, and I have to tell you, it was so much fun. I decided I had a burning desire to do it. I made a plan to do it, and I accomplished it. And I was really glad I did that. Now I served on the city council for 4 years, and that was enough for me for now. It might be in the future, but the whole point of it is, I decided this would be fun, and I went for it. Now, what about you? What about you? How do you find your burning desire? And then what do you do with it once you find it? Well, if you do have a burning desire, this is what I strongly suggest, is you treat that desire very, very carefully. To make a dream and a desire into a plan, you have to treat it carefully because they're fragile. As you start planning it, you have to be very careful to treat it with kid gloves. And you're going to talk to people who are going to try and talk you out of it. They're going to tell you, well, you're not good enough. You don't know how to do that. There's no way you could do that. You know what I'm talking about. Do you know what I'm talking about, Frank? People who told you couldn't do what you wanted to do.
I deal with that all the time being a political activist.
Yeah, and there are people in your life constantly doing this like Frank's talking about. They're barking all this negativity at you. And you know what? This is why I'm telling you, your dream or your desire, you have to treat it very carefully. If you have people like this in your life, you have to get them out of your life, because if you don't, they will rip your dreams out and they will literally rip your heart out. You don't listen to these people. Do you hear what I'm saying, Frank? We don't listen to them, do we?
No, it's just like last year when I testified about universal background check down there in Salem. I went down and testified. I was even on TV. I mean, Channel 6 put me on TV 4 times over that. And I was still told by the negativity people that I didn't say the right things.
That's right. And that's the kind of people you have to just say, I'm not listening to those people. I'm the one who knows what in my heart I have to do. So what you need to do is get rid of that kind of people and get involved with people in your life that will help you create that burning desire and go from just a desire to a bonfire of planning and activity to help you to actually do the thing that you want to do. That's how you turn your dreams and your burning desire into reality, and that's the kind of people you need to hang out with. Now, Frank, I know when you were going through that, you did have a lot of support for going after and expounding your point of view, because you knew in the right thing, it was the right thing for you to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's a lot of people out there you're thinking, well, yeah, I would love to do what you guys do and go after my dream and do what I think is right in my heart. But, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to do it, you're telling me. And you're telling yourself, too, Big Brother's on, or American Idol is on, or there's a show on Netflix I just have to watch right now. So I wish I had more time to do it. Well, I have to tell you something. You're not going to get any more time. There is no more time. Some of you are thinking, well, I had a passion for something and I tried to do it yesterday, but I failed and I just got hurt and I don't want to do it anymore. Well, you know what? Guess what? Nobody cares about yesterday. It's done. It's over with. And you know what, really? I don't care about your failures. Frank, you don't care about their failures, do you?
Nope.
It's over with. It's done. We don't care. So get up and try again. And if you fail again, get up and try again. Keep going. Now here's some of my favorite people. They say, yeah, I've got this burning desire and I've got a dream. But you know what? I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll follow my dream. Tomorrow, I'll do what I know in my heart I want to do. I'll do it tomorrow. So you'll be the person 10 years from now. I'll meet you somewhere and you're going to say, 10 years later, you're going to still say the same thing. You're going to say, yeah, tomorrow I'm going to follow my dreams. Tomorrow I'm going to do what I feel in my heart is the right thing to do, but I'm going to wait tomorrow. That's right. I'm going to meet you 10 years from now, and you're going to be saying exactly the same thing. So I have a suggestion for you, okay? A strong suggestion. Do it today. Do it now. Turn off the show, as a matter of fact. Frank, I'm doing a taboo of television. I'm telling them to turn off the show, change the channel. Do something about it. Take the first step about doing what your heart's desire, what you feel is right in your heart to do. Today is the only day you have to do this, folks. Today. Each of us goes to bed at night. We might not even wake up tomorrow, okay? You might not even wake up tomorrow. And yesterday, it's gone. It's over. You can't do anything about it. So if you're going to follow your dream, if you have something burning in your heart you know you have to do, you better do it today because it's the only day possible. Give yourself the gift today. Give yourself the gift today. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't be afraid of failing in the past. Do what you need to do today. It's the only day you really have to do what your heart's desire.
I can agree with that. It's just like what I was saying about expressing myself in front of government officials. I mean, you'd be surprised how many people that, they agree with me. They say they support me. They go, yeah, I should do that. Well, they don't do it, and that's what I get upset with. The more people saying the same thing, the more those politicians are going to listen.
And that's true. And, it is a little intimidating to, let alone it's intimidating to a lot of people, to most of us, I think, to talk to strangers. I mean, there's that fear of that. And especially there's a certain fear I think all of us have of talking to somebody who's perceived to be at a higher position as an elected official, a state senator or a governor or a city council person. Well, guess what? Just because they got elected doesn't mean they're any smarter than you or know any more than you or have more a power to say what you feel is the right thing to say. There's no need to be afraid of anybody. So if you're afraid of something, just say, hey, I'm just start doing it. Trust me on this. Once you start doing it, your fear will go away. The whole thing is taking that first step. Frank, do you remember the first time you went to testify in Salem? What did that feel like?
Oh, it felt kind of weird because you're actually bucking the system that the majority party is trying to push, and you feel like if you say something wrong in front of them, you're gonna get bad karma come back in you in form of government officials. But I'm not scared anymore
because they're just people, just like you and me. There's that old sketch on Saturday Night Live with the famous record producer. It's the more cowbell sketch, and he says, yes, I'm a famous record producer, but I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like any other famous record producer. And no matter who you talk to, they're all the same. You shouldn't be intimidated by anybody. As a matter of fact, it's been my experience that everybody has a little fear of talking to strangers. Even famous people have a fear of talking to strangers. And all it is you just do it. You just talk. It's all it is. I mean, the easy thing for me personally, it's easy to come in here and talk to the TV camera right there. It's really, really easy because it's a piece of machinery. But when I do it, I pretend I'm talking to an individual. And I used to have a real fear of speaking in public until I joined a group called the Toastmasters, where it's what you do. You practice public speaking, and now it's kind of like going to the gym. You work out your public speaking abilities. Now I have absolutely no fear at all of speaking in public to any audience whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, it makes it easier to do a local cable access show. So I'm just going to tell you, turn off the TV right now, and if there's something you really feel you need to do or want to do, go do it. Turn the TV off and do it today. Don't put it off. I don't want to have to come back to you on a later show and say, hey, you're still telling me you're going to do it tomorrow. Okay. Well, that is the show for today. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us. info@eastcountynow.org, and you can look at our Facebook page, facebook.com/East County Now, and we have a YouTube channel, so go on YouTube and search East County Now. The links are also on the Facebook page, by the way. Yeah, give us the email shout, info@eastcountynow.org. So I want to thank Frank for being part of the show today. Thanks again, Frank. He's a wonderful director, and he is the Metro East Volunteer of the Year for another year. And I also want to thank Mike Canty, the technical advisor. He technically advises us, but from what I hear on the down low, right now he went to the Chinese restaurant instead of technical advising us. But that's okay, because he's going to a great place, isn't he, Frank?
Yeah, and he trusts us to play.
We're playing here. See, 2 people to do a cable access show. It's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for watching East County Now, and I hope you guys have a good day, and talk to you later. Thanks. Hi, I'm Rob. I'm the host of East County Now. I'm at the beach in Lincoln City and I discovered some strange writings in the sand. Let's take a look.